Hello, everybody. Welcome to my next set of guests. I am your host, Graham Giancola, here with contestant number one, Battle of the Generations Gen X contestant, Alex Petrovich.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So, to start things off, you filled out an application to audition. What happened after you completed the application online?
Online, after I finished it, I remember waiting a couple weeks, and when I got the news, um, it was pretty exciting, but it wasn't until we did mock trivia, like an online mock trivia game first, to just to
Mhm.
make sure that this wasn't a fluke of any kind. So I nailed that. I did well on that one. And then I was in after that. Then they put me in touch with producers and we started going over um, my story and things like that. And we were just kind of going about that and making sure that for TV things were going to be a little more exciting. So and my life story and all these things are, I don't know. I think that they're pretty exciting. I live an exciting life, I believe.
Mm. We all have that living la vida loca, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Now, most game shows have an audience and lots of sound effects, but this game show didn't. No audience, no sound effects. Did that affect your pressure? If it did, how much did it affect your pressure and gameplay?
Um, it didn't affect me much. I was actually looking. I was kind of surprised at that aspect, that it was we were in a studio and we they were doing what they were doing was they were filming the season. So it was the first game would be in the morning, and then there would be a second episode being shot in the afternoon, and then they were doing that for about, I think, 16 days or so. So yeah, it was kind of jaunting at first because I wasn't really sure what to expect, to be honest. We got brought in from the hotel to the CBC building, and then we went to the studios and sat around in the dressing room. We didn't really get to meet each other until maybe a couple minutes beforehand, and then we were all in a room together, and then we got ushered out into the actual studio, and that was really cool. It was a beautiful studio. It was a just a really beautiful studio. Chef's kiss on that one.
Oh yeah, it's really colorful,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
What was the most challenging part about being on the show?
Um, if I can remember correctly, I think one of the most challenging parts was you know, just to go back to your first question there with the nerves, the that was probably a big part of it for me, was just making sure that my brain was going to be firing on all cylinders when the questions came out. There were certain things that I knew, but for some reason, the woman next to me knew them better. And just it was that once that started happening and I started to see, okay, she's like, her brain right now is on fire. I had to wake up really quickly and try and continue and just get to the punch first. But yeah, that was probably the most daunting part of it all. It was the nerves. It was the just being on the spot, being asked those questions on the spot was always difficult. But
Hmm.
I felt like I was okay until you just don't know what's going to be asked. You just don't know, and that was the bane of my existence for a half hour.
Well, you played very well,
Thank you.
Alex. And would you have done better if you were born in an older generation or a younger generation?
I think if I was a little bit older and I got to to the boomer section, because there was questions there that I was like, when we did a general uh pregame version of the game, just to kind of get the rules down and make sure that nobody's flubbing on any of the rules that they set out. So we did a pregame, and I was doing really good on that one. And especially the boomer questions. I grew up with a dad who was a reporter from the CBC. So, it was a lot of pop culture stuff going on in my house too, especially of that age, that era. We grew up with VCRs and, you know, tape cassettes and stuff. So it was like I just knew all the old bands, knew all the old movies and authors and things like that. So it was yeah, yeah. I felt like Boomer would have been maybe, but you look back on things and you're like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, that kind of thing. It's whatever.
Oh, yes, I agree. And now it's time for the last question. After you left your panel, I think it was, what happened after? Did you get any consolation prize? Did you talk to Lily? What happened once the episode aired?
Funny enough, no, we didn't talk. I went back to my dressing room, got my stuff, and I went back and got drunk at the bar down the street. Uh, I remember that, but what was funny was during the show, there was like I'm a massive wrestling fan, lifelong wrestling fan. I grew up watching wrestling since the young age, and the whole reason why I was on the game show in the first place, the whole reason that really enticed me to even audition, uh, besides the fact that during like this was all kind of during COVID, so it was I wasn't working at the time, and like the film industry that I work in, it was kind of on a skeleton crew of sorts. We weren't working as much or as frequent. But during that show, uh, the game, like the reason why I even decided to do the game show was because my grandparents coming from another country to Canada, their first learning of the English language was watching game shows, and I would sit there and watch them with them. But it was game shows, it was Price is Right and Jeopardy, but then it was also professional wrestling. And so when I was a kid, wrestling was like just ruled our house. So there was some things that were said between questions every once in a while that I believe they edited it out of the show. But Lily and I really got on a good banter about wrestling because she's a massive wrestling fan and she's friends with Trish Stratus and
Yes.
so it was like we really connected on that. But that was between questions, and I really thought that they were going to leave that in, but I believe they took that part out. But which was it was okay. They have only X amount of time to use for the
Yeah.
game. So yeah, they had to pick and choose what conversations they were going to leave in. But there was a lot of stuff that they shot, and that was about it. I didn't really talk to her after that, but I knew that she was a big wrestling fan too. So
Hmm.
it was kind of cool.
Wow. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me, Alex, but we're not done yet.
Okay.
Do you want us to host anything?
Yeah, okay. What is your favorite what's your top three game shows? What are yours
Well,
top three game shows?
my top three game shows are Let's Make a Deal, The Price is Right, and Family Feud.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, the Family Feud is a favorite of mine too. My actual favorite episode is when WCW was on there. The wrestling guys. That was pretty cool.
Ah, cool. I think I saw that episode on YouTube sometime.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to ask me, or you don't have any more questions for the host?
I don't have any questions for the host. I feel like when it gets turned around on me, and then I get camera shy a bit. So I'm not a good host. I wouldn't make a good host, I don't think. I once thought I would, but I don't think so. But
Well,
yeah.
I
Who's
understand.
next?
Who's who's next interview wise?
Yeah.
You're gonna find out after I upload your interview.
Okay.
I like keeping things, secret.
Cool.
Just like how actors, keep things NDA.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but I'm not under a contract.
There you go. Yeah. So, but it's spoiler still, so I got
Yeah. Thanks again, Alex, for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate your time.
No, thank you very much.
My pleasure.